Previously on the Frontier Farmer. I have heard that the individuals taking part in the tractor run have arrived in the dark forest. Hold on a minute. I think that's Richard I see. Ah, okay, so all the tractors are getting set up at the distribution centre, I see. So we better crack on and get our fair set up. And doesn't look like much, but yes, we have got a little hut here where we can cook some food and some lovely food carts here. And down here we have our main sort of market stalls selling all different various goods and so forth. Oh, fantastic. Let's give everyone a bit of a round of applause for coming through. Oh, and Alice Chalmers. Fantastic. Right, everyone, if you just want to follow my lead and get parked up, that would be grand. Magnificent. What a collection. I've got to say, this has turned into quite the occasion on the homestead. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Frontier Farmer at the Dark Forest. It is now January, and as you can see, we've had some snow. But unfortunately that has meant that our tractor fair, tractor run friends have been bogged down from leaving. They've helped us tidy up all of the fair and stalls that we had for the winter fair last month. But yes, they've unfortunately been bogged down because we had a flurry of snow and they've been unable to get out. But luckily, I think the weather is due to change this morning and the temperature is meant to radically increase. That's right, by about 11 o'clock we are due quite a temperature change, and I think that's going to melt the snow away pretty quickly, and that should free up our friends in order for them to start their route home. Yes, they're all backed up here, waiting to get off home. But one thing that we have planned to do before they leave off, and I'm hoping the ground is going to be soft enough, but they brought along some ploughs which they've stashed in the box van up there. And they brought these along, luckily, because they've offered to help plough up field number 3 as a bit of a sort of ploughing activity before they leave. So yes, we're hoping that we could get that underway once the snow has cleared. There's only been snow for a couple of days or so, so the ground shouldn't be too frozen. But up here at field number 4, all of the stalls and equipment and bits and bobs that we had here for the fair have all been tidied away. And yes, I think some of the leftover materials, Thomas is going to try and see if he can process that through the sawmill to not waste any of it. And yes, we have some bales over here which we will have to clear up later on. But since the fair has ended, our settlers have been busy setting back to work on some of the forestry they were planning on the other side of the lake. And that is really to create another road or extension of the road that spans from the roundabout, which is going to link up into the production zone riverways, and is going to be the main road where the new settlers farm is going to operate. So I've hopped in the Kirovets because of the conditions. This is probably the best vehicle to get us over there. And yep, I think they have resumed some work. I think I'm probably going to need to meander through the stumps that are still here, but there's a few bits of wood that need to be collected. And oh yes, the forestry machine was on this side of the creek last time, and I think, aha, yes, I can see in the distance that some of our settlers are busy off and working. Got the forestry machine on the other side of the creek now with the bulldozer, so they're going to be extending this road. We'll have to come back later and build a bridge. And there will be a bridge that spans this water here to go into our production zone, Riverways. Hello chaps, how's it all going over there? Just taking a quick break? Yep, fair enough. Well, give us a shout if you need any help. Right, I think we will leave them to it, so we'll jump back in the Kiravets, head on back to the homestead, and really wait for this snow to clear so we can get the ploughing underway and the tractor run back on its way home. Here we go. And some other jobs that I've got planned for this afternoon, hopefully, is to lime up Burfield, because that was harvested of soybeans in the late season last year. And yes, we want to get that ready as soon as possible for the next crop. And then at some point we are going to have to patch repair field number 4 and merge it with field number 3 like we planned. So I'll probably do that once our friends have left the homestead and the dark forest. Right, but all there's left for it is to wait for this snow to clear, and then we can hopefully get some tractor ploughing underway. There we go, the snow has cleared away, and luckily, because the temperature's not been too chilly, the ground is not too frozen. Right, so the ploughs that our tractor friends bought with them are 2 times the Kverland EG85. I think they've definitely seen a fair few ploughing activities based on the wear and tear, and they're a bit dirty. But yes, they require about 100 horsepower to pull, so the 2 machines elected for the ploughing are the Minneapolis Moline G1355 and our Big Brother International Hydro 1066 Farmall. So yes, some 2 beefy machines to pull these ploughs, and these seem to be bi-directional ploughs, so they do flip and allow you to come back on yourself on the return run, which is pretty good. Right, let's get our tractor friends set up and on their way. So here we go, our friends are underway, working side by side to get this field ploughed up. So let's look on from the sidelines and see how they get on. And just like that, our friends have finished the ploughing of field 3. It's amazing what the power of 2 can do. Made it a speedy job. Well done, thank you very much for all of your efforts, and it was nice to see the dual or bi-directional plough in operation, switching as they went back and forth down the rows. And I think overall it's a pretty good job. There's a couple of little patches that have been missed, but that's to be expected. And yes, we've definitely got some stones to clear now. And yes, thankfully the ground wasn't too solid and ploughed up quite nicely. But it did need ploughing because we obviously had corn in here last time, and that certainly needed ploughing up. Plus we've done a lot of driving over this field with the tractor run and the tractor fair. Okay, so the tractors have joined the end of the queue now of the tractor run, and I think it's time for our friends to head on back now, unfortunately. But yes, the ground has cleared up, the snow has gone, and there is a window for them to return before there is yet more snow on the horizon. But I think the temperature is high enough now that any snow is not going to set. But yeah, it's time to bid farewell to our tractor fair, tractor run friends, and hopefully they will return to the Dark Forest again in the future. And one thing they did mention is that when we do set up the settler farm, that there's some very willing volunteers to come along with their tractors to help us get set up. And potentially there might even be some tractors for sale. So if you've got any ideas or particular tractors that you think we could look to purchase for the new farm that the settlers are going to run, then please let me know. Even some of our friends have come to see the convoy off. Right, let's get in position. Right, they are setting off. Goodbye everyone. Let's give them a round of applause, fellas. I think they deserve it for the journey they have made here. And it's been nice making some new friends. Farewell everyone. Safe journey. Hopefully see you soon. Wow, what a fantastic suite of tractors. Really have enjoyed having them here in the Dark Forest. And very kind of them to give us some support in ploughing field number 3. That's going to save us some time later in spring before we would have got it prepped and drilled it. One of my favourites going. The Alice Chalmers. That lovely glossy green John Deere. And of course I've parked up our John Deere Lands Harvester and John Deere Lands Bulldog. Case with the brolly. Very smart. The other Bulldog that, yeah, I think that is probably a smaller brother to the Bulldog we have. Ford, the army trucks, that fantastic semi-truck with the fuel tank. Yes, I think they've all fueled up before setting off for the long journey home. Box vans and caravans, all supporting the stay of our tractor run friends. And the fantastic International and the Minneapolis Marine with the ploughs that helped us out. Superb. See you later everyone. Take care. Oh, it is a sorry sight seeing them go. Right. Back to work, I think. Okay, so things can get back to normal a little bit. Oh, everyone's gone back to work bar you. Yeah, okay, you can just chill out there, that's fine. Right, I want to jump in the International Harvester so we can get the lime spreader and get Burfield all limed up. Now I think field number 3, which has just been ploughed, is okay for lime, but I will inspect it to make sure all is okay. There we go, International Harvester, and I've parked the Bulldog in the shed because Thomas said that it was kind of in the way for him. He doesn't really use it to power the sawmill like Tim used to, and there is a handy little red generator down there that runs the saw. So, yep, the Lands Bulldog can be parked up now. It is not needed, and we can probably donate it to the settler farm once that gets set up. Right, here is our lime spreader, the trusty lime spreader, and that John Deere Lands Bulldog plus a whole bunch of other equipment is going to be donated to the settler farm once it is there and operational. Okay, it looks like this is filled full of lime already. I don't know when we did that, but we can head straight over to Burfield and get liming. Last little sprinkle dinkle on that corner, and we are done in Burfield. That is looking pretty good. So we can shut off the lime spreader. Now this lime spreader, despite it being small, still stands pretty true, as it's got a good width and does work pretty efficiently. Right, I'm just going to do a quick inspect of field 3 and field 4 area just to see if we need to lime it. No, so field 3 is looking good, doesn't need any lime, but obviously field 4 has been slightly destroyed. We will need to re-plough that ourselves, and the plan is to join field 3 and 4 together and probably rename it. So potentially we might have to do a little bit of liming once we do plough that up. Of course, we can't plough it up until we have moved those bales out the way. So that's probably going to be a job for next month. But we will park up the lime spreader, and then I think it is going to be on to selling some wood chips that we had stashed in the trailer that we couldn't sell last time because the tractor run was on its way through. And also we will get those bales picked up so they don't go to waste. I can see Barkamus toddling about over there. He has certainly enjoyed having some extra visitors and friends in the Dark Forest of late. It's probably going to be quite quiet and maybe a little bit lonely for him, but I'm sure he will get quite excited once the new settler farm gets set up, because he'll have a new place to go and play. Anyhow, I think we'll park up in here, and I think there's a mixture of bales in the pile, some hay, some grass, some straw. The hay and straw can go in here, and the grass bales can go straight to our sheep. So I think I'm just going to jump in the loadall, the telehandler, and we can fire that up. And I'm going to get those bales shifted, and then we can move on to selling the wood chips. Finishing up on a bit of a wobble, but we've got our small conventional straw bales over to the hay loft, and that is good news. 2100 litres. I bet you thought we were going to be wasting those bales, but no, we are going to make use of every scrap. And yes, I think people were mostly using those bales to sit on and play around on, but yes, oh, there we go, we have one that has fallen behind here. Let's see if we can retrieve that and put it in the hopper. Very good hay loft this is, very efficient. Right, I think we can park up the front loader now, and it was much easier just doing ferrying jobs back and forward. Saves loading it on a trailer and then having to transport it over here and then unload again. So it's only close proximity, we can just do runs back and forth. Right, let's park up and shut off. Oops, just rammed into the ramp there. There we go. Right, okay, let's head over to the IFA and get those wood chips sold. Trusty truck this is, and yes, we got 34,000 odd litres of wood chips, which got loaded up last time, but we couldn't sell them because the road was blocked for the tractor run. Now, speaking of wood, one thing we're going to be doing this afternoon is constructing a new wood yard, and this is going to act as kind of a more advanced wood storage yard, because we've at the moment just got a pile of wood that sits there quite nice and neatly, which is very handy. But the wood yard we're going to be installing is going to advance it a little bit, and it's going to enable some quick pickup and delivery ability to our various productions. But that is something we can do once we've checked in on how the workers are getting on with the forestry around the production site. Right, let's back up the trailer and get these wood chips sold. I'm hoping for a good amount of profit here. And speaking of profit, the funds of the homestead are looking pretty good at the moment, and the reason for that is our very efficient production process already, making wood goods, building materials and other things, and that is only going to get better. But one thing is that we will probably have to make quite a substantial investment, and I'm thinking of a few things that we could build. A sugar mill, because we've got sugar beet to process, and yes, we can use it for pig food, but the pigs are going to take a long time to go through that 56,000 litres of sugar beet that we have. And one thing that did come across my desk is the old Forestry Commission sawmill site. Now, if you recall, they are based some way away from our homestead, but it is a fairly sizable clearing, and there's some potential plans that we could demolish that old sawmill, because obviously we have our own and that's disused now, and we could look to potentially build some factories there, and that's going to mean that A, we don't have to deforest any more of the dark forest to make space ourselves, and B, it's already a nice clear site for us to just commence building. So let me know your thoughts on that, but I'm thinking that yes, we could demolish the old Forestry Commission sawmill and build some factories there. Now, one slight disadvantage is that site is quite far away, but I'm thinking that with our already efficient production process, we should be able to manage the logistics. Right, I think to head over to inspect how the settlers and workers are getting on with the forestry, we'll take the skidder, because I imagine we might have some logs to pull. Let's head on over the bridge and see how they're getting on. Ooh, right, okay, I can see the forestry machine in the distance there. It looks very close to the river, so maybe that means they've made it all the way through. Let's meander around the stumps. There's quite a bit of wood logs to clear down the side, but some of that wood will go towards our bridge. And aha, we have our first space. So I think what we'll do is we'll get out and clear some of the stumps away, and then what we can do is construct our bridge. We've cleared those, so let's build. And here it is. Slightly more advanced than some of our previous bridges. This is a sort of flat planked bridge rather than just rounded logs, so it's going to be a bit smoother for our vehicles to drive over. Right, we've got some more stumps to clear, so let's get them sorted and then we can build the next bridge. Last two stumps just up here. Hi fellas, looks like you're hard at work planning the bridge. Quite a expanse to span here, but yes, I'm sure we'll get it all sorted. And looks like this Lee pair has done a good job clearing the forest. Right, let's bridge it. Now, would you look at that? Another lovely flat bridge. Now, we have had to do some groundworks for this to make the span manageable. And good news is it seems to have gone quite successfully. And there's a nice flat area on either side, so no lips on the bridges or anything like that that's going to cause our trucks and vehicles to go over into the water. But it does mean that the water span has shrunk ever so slightly. But great work, fellas. There's some great building work taking place and also some forestry. So good news. Right, let's go grab our skidder. And I think what we can do is pick up a supply of wood, take it into the production zone, and we can construct our new wood storage yard. Okay, we can grab these 3 logs at the back here. That's going to enable us to test out the smoothness of the bridges. Right, let's head on over. Watch out, fellas. There's some logs trailing behind. I don't want you to get hit. And hopefully we can get over this nice and smoothly. So we've made it over successfully. And here is where we are going to place our new wood storage yard. So let's swing around and we can get that constructed. And this is it. Quite nicely placed here, although this area is now looking rather full, but I've tried to space it out so that we have room to drive around appropriately. Now, for this wood storage yard, we can deposit wood here, and I think there's a trigger point around the back, so let's drop that off. There we go. And we should be able to trigger in the wood here. There we go, slightly closer to the door. There we go, we have got wood in this wood storage yard now, so let's see how it can benefit. So this wood storage yard acts as a factory and has the ability to process 500 wood as a incoming material into 495 wood and 5 wood chips as outgoing materials. But the benefit here is that we can set the outgoing wood to distribute to our various productions, and we can also set the wood chips to sell, as we have no other need for them at the moment. So that is going to benefit us greatly. So we can activate that now. It'll start processing, and what we'll do is we'll move wood from our other wood storage yards into here, and then it can get distributed to our productions nice and efficiently. Fantastic. So I'm very pleased with our new wood storage yard. It is rather large, but luckily it just about fits in that production zone. And our new bridges are looking pretty good, and they can hold the weight of transporting over them, which is good. Oh yes, lots of nice smooth running. Now of course all the wood that has been chopped down we will get into the wood storage yard. But for now we're going to head off back to the homestead, because I think that's it for today. Go. Slightly shorter days in this winter period, but spring is on its way. But not before it looks like there's another flurry of snow. So hopefully that's not going to last too long. Next time I think we will check to make sure our new wood storage yard has got a large amount of wood in there to process. And potentially we might take a look at the old Forestry Commission sawmill, see if we can demolish that and set up a sugar mill. But that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe. If you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, then feel free to leave a comment. But all that's left to say is I hope to see you again next time on The Frontier Farmer. And until then, catch you later. Cheers all. Bye bye.